to utilise the ex-England international. So, turnabout's fair play. That all sort of evens things up. What did you think of this one then? Good result for Castleford, ensuring themselves Super League status for next season, if nothing else.
Yeah, well, I think both teams were short on numbers. What was interesting about the Catalan team is they played Bosk and Myler in the halves, who haven't been playing in the half. Myler's been injured and Bosk has been playing interchange hooker.
Yeah.
And I think that was interesting, and it probably broke down some of the attacking cohesion of the side. They had a couple of tries that were ruled out, weren't there, in the first half both ways in this one. So obviously problems with the combinations for both sides, with both sides suffering quite a lot across the board in similar positions.
Yeah.
With similar sorts of injuries. One of the things that kept coming out from the tweets and stuff as the game was going on was how Catalans didn't look fit. Particularly Taylor got a lot of flack for that. And which is weird because actually Catalan did better in the second half probably than the first half. But Castleford are a real good strike team. They're massive. They're way up there in the clean break charts this year.
Although I always enjoy. I've not watched Castleford play for a couple of seasons and not enjoyed their brand of rugby because they do play quite.
Well, there was that game at Huddersfield away last year. That was awful.
I didn't tell you that.
Right.
So there you go. When I've watched them, I've always been excited and enjoy watching them play because of that sort of distance strike nature that they've got, as well as some exciting players.
Yeah. No.
Utilising their attacking play.
Yeah. So yeah. 7 tries to 4, although just like the first game in this round, the losing side actually had more breaks, 9-7. The victorious Tigers also made more errors than their visitors, so that explains kind of the break count a little bit. Other than that, though, they won across the stats, 279 more metres, nearly a full metre per carry average better gain, 2% better team tackle success. And when you see the highlights of this game, they were really impressive, incisive moves, a lot of them.
Yeah.
Maybe a lot of the juggling in positions and players for Catalan affected their defensive reads and understanding of what each other
put some gaps in the way
would and wouldn't be doing. But it showed some weaknesses that other teams can expose there. So well done to Cass, and it secured their top 8.
And Ryan Hampshire, they're just not letting him play at half-back, are they?
Well, I think the story is run on him as a Super League half-back. For now, he'd have to go and play in the Championship to earn his spurs as a half-back. But I think it's positive to see him having a good game in another position.
Yeah.
Because one of the criticisms that's been labelled at him is he's kind of seen his arse a little bit about playing not at half-back. Probably aided and abetted by a lot of people who watched him as a youngster at Wigan and have padded his ego in terms of how great he is.
Right.
When playing against little kids like he was, he looked great because he had all the pace and the skills. But at Super League, I think there's more that maybe needs to be developed in his game on both sides of the ball, and I want him to develop those things because he can be a really good stand-off half in time to come.
Yeah,
I'm sure of it. But attitude to learning the game a lot better from other positions, and this is all just hearsay and kind of what I've been drip-fed through, but that's kind of the impression that I've picked up, that he wanted to play half-back, and that's why there was issues at Wigan, because Wayne thought he needed to develop parts of his game to play half-back. But basically, this is a positive, and he makes the stats round up. 2 tries, 102 metres, 2 clean breaks. Greg Minikin 172 metres, Ben Crooks 1 try assist, 6 tackle bus 108 metres, and then Luke Dawn finally 2 tries, 1 try assist, 6 tackle bus 145 metres, 2 clean breaks. Really good performance from the veteran, and also it shows that the Castleford backs had exciting games in this one. For Catalan, Choni Gigo back in the centres in this one, 6 tackle bus 144 metres, 2 clean breaks, but not a lot came of that unfortunately. Ben Garcia playing at loose forward this time around, 115 metres. Justin Horrow grabbed a try and 106 metres himself.
Okay, so fan reviews then. Tyler Cass fan got in touch. He said Powell's game plan of taking them down on the edges worked perfectly. against the Fat Not Fit Brigade. Once the game was lost, the Frogs just wanted to fight and made the second half scrappy. Cast us safely in the 8. I can now pass my squeaky bum on to the Wakey fans. Fat Boy Rob got in touch, celebrating that he was able to find the form. He said, a bad-tempered game, won at a canter. The ref just couldn't control it, but gave us more than our fair share of penalties, so he did alright by me. Did the RFL pull his name out of a bucket? I might ask for a go next week. I know most of the rules. We'll really miss Dawn next season, but if we ever get a fully fit squad, we will be unbeatable. There you go.
The referee was Mike Woodhead.
Oh yeah, him.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's the tail of the round then, Midgillingworth?
Well, we're talking more about what's going on in the bigger picture, aren't we? Really, especially because I didn't have complete stats to nail down the numbers properly on this one.
Yeah.
A few more things are sealed now. Huddersfield and Salford are condemned to the qualifiers. Hull KR have a slim hope, and with points difference, it's really only Wakefield under any threat of being caught. Their points difference is worse than Hull KR's. Witnesses is considerably better. Saints are only 2 points back of Catalan now in the chase for the extra home game. That's the only real chance of significant change in the top 8. Wigan go top.
There you go. Predictions, Super Brew and Dream Team updates. How are things looking there?
Well, my inspired tip for Leeds saw me get 4 out of 6 to your 3 out of 6 this week. Alex Jewett, he wears the yellow cap in the Super Brew, so well done to Alex. Dargana, though, stays top of the table overall.
Impressive, congratulations.
Yes, good form from him in recent weeks. Not his best week this week, but he stretched a good lead.
Yeah.
Of course, Alan Bagley is top of the Dream Team. I don't think that's going to change probably. It was John Dix, though, who had the best scoring team this week, 692.
Quite something.
I was around about the same score as Alan, so I feel like I did well this week.
I've adopted a new technique. It's basically it's called the gradual Bagley. So I know who plays for him, I know who plays for me, I know where the overlap of those players are, and gradually over the next couple of months, what you might find is that my team and Alan's start to bear a striking similarity to one
But you're
another.
always going to be behind.
I know, exactly.
What Alan does is sees who's suspended and injured and picks his team accordingly.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's not something I necessarily have the foresight to do. So, but that's now my technique in terms of trying to catch you up is to perform the gradual.
Well, you moved down a place this week, and I moved up a place.
Yeah,
So.
because fucking Glenn Stewart and bloody Arthur Catalan Dragons team didn't turn up and play. That's why I was goosed. Right, I got my points with fucking 10 men. So I was pleased. Right, let's take a look now at some results from elsewhere in the world of rugby league. Right, so 2 results from elsewhere in the world of rugby league. Then it was round 21 of the championship. Things hotting up there in the race to reach the middle 8s. And Batley were defeated at home by Featherstone Rovers 34 points to 6. And Bradford Bulls were able to capitalise with a win of 64 points to 18 over Whitehaven.
What the fuck happened in the second half? You lost the second half.
Q went on the rack, didn't it? But in the first half, they actually set a world record for most points in a half. Or the biggest half-time margin of victory.
Ever? Well, it's not.
According to everything that I've seen and read in the papers. And
was it not just a Bulls record rather than a world record?
No, it's the most. It's the most. It's a world record, according to Mick Gledhill on Twitter. Most Bulls. He's the commentator for the BCB.
Yeah, no, I know who he is.
Yeah, and he's not always wrong. But according to that.
Right, let's have a look.
You can have a quick
fact check.
You can fact check that while I read out our feedback, because Alan Cale got in touch. He's Shoddy and Mungo. Look what a difference a proper 7 can make. I thought we were out of the running for the top 4, but results today and some tough games left for Batley and facts mean that we have a chance. Last game away at Fev may well be crucial. And Rich Tordoff got in touch. He says clinical first half by the Bulls, took the foot off the gas in the second, and allowed Haven some tries that Rowan Smith won't be happy with. Chisholm at 7 was a revelation. Who says we don't need a 7, Jimmy? Dare to dream that we might make the top 4. Well, it's certainly, it remains on the cards. I think London are going to have to do us a favour, perhaps against Batley, or Featherstone do us a favour against Halifax this weekend coming. Otherwise, we might be might be out of luck by the time we go and play Featherstone at Post Office Road. Lee Centurions confirmed their millionth title in about 10 years with a 58 points to 18 victory over Halifax. Surprise result around saw London Broncos defeated at home by the lowly Sheffield Eagles 32 points to 14. Chris Macy got in touch and says, have to credit the Eagles today, they came first in every department. We never got out of first gear, our running was flat and we missed too many tackles. A poor afternoon all round. Well done, Sheffield. The big Derby game down at the bottom saw Oldham beat Swinton Lions by 26 points to 24, so congratulations to the Ruffians. And another close game at the bottom saw Workington defeat Dewsbury by 22 points to 20. All of which means that Leigh claim a third straight league leaders' shield. London are confirmed in second despite their defeat against Sheffield. The big change though around the top four sees that Bradford and Featherstone now only sit a point behind Halifax and Batley. Whitehaven are now 3 points adrift in 11th, with Workington still bottom, but now with renewed hope of survival.
Yeah, and those two play each other next week, don't they? So that gap could close to only one win, couldn't it? Or maybe 3 points. Sorry, would it?
3 points, yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. That you've got the better fixture, haven't you, Bradford? You've got Oldham this week. If you put on another spanking there, you've got the points difference advantage.
Yeah. We've already got perhaps
over Featherstone, and if Featherstone can beat Halifax, the form they're in, this is getting exciting.
Well, look, we need one of Featherstone or London to do us a favour, basically, and then we have to win our next two games, one of which will be against Featherstone on the final game of the regular season. So we need favours still.
It's interesting.
We need favours still.
What else is interesting is that in 2010,
right,
when the Blackpool Panthers absolutely twatted the Gateshead.
Oh, what was the score in that one?
132-0. The score at half-time was 60 points to 0 in favour of the Panthers.
Oh, I'm going to get back at that Gladhill with that one, because that is good stats. That's good stats, man. Right. Into League One then. Round 15 of regular season play. London Scholars.
It helps if you were at a game where it happened to remember it.
What a game it would be at though. That was
it was a parade.
It was quite something, wasn't it? I would suggest. Okay.
No, it was watching Johnny Lever.
Just lever it, yeah.
Like
just kick.
50 metres untouched, like 12 times.
Is that what it was?
Well, it was like a lot of the tries in the second half were the Gateshead players were on the Blackpool like 30 or 40 metre line, and two or three Blackpool players were going up to the far end by the houses and putting the ball down.
Right,
basically.
There you go. Okay,
Tom Hemingway kicked all of his goals.
That's right, because that was another record, wasn't it? Did he not set some sort of record for goal kicking?
He did. I think. Did he set or did he match I think he matched the previous record. Anyway,
there you go then. Right. League One then, round 15. London Scholars defeated at home 52 points to 12 by Toulouse, whose victory parade through League One continues. Coventry were 18 points to 16 winners over the South Wales Scorpions. Hemel, bottom of the league, were beaten 20 points to 52 by the Newcastle side. Oxford were 32 points to 52 losers against the Gloucestershire All-Goals. It was Hunslet, thank you. It was Hunslet 35, North Wales 30. Keighley beat York by 34 points to 28, and Rochdale were 21 points to 8 winners over Doncaster.
You'll have seen some tries down at Iffley Road or wherever it was played.
A lot of points.
Not at Iffley Road now, are they at Iffley Road?
I thought they were at Iffley.
Anyway, wherever it was played, you'll see a lot of tries there. The 14-game regular season, Tom, has finished for League One now. Unbeaten Toulouse are top on 27 points. Rochdale trail on 25. York and Doncaster round out the top four ahead of Barrow and Keighley. Hunslet and London are still in the playoff chase on 16 points.
Hey.
Well done to the London Scholars for making the top 8 at the split.
That's sensational.
Excellent work from them.
Really is good.
It's not even a case of top of the bottom league. They are in the top league. In the chase for the League One Shield that now begins, Newcastle and North Wales are massively in pole position for the spots in the final of that competition. They're on 15 and 12 points respectively at the moment, and you would suspect they'll have the beating of a lot of these other teams. Coventry have 9 points, All Goals have 6 points, then South Wales, Oxford and Hemel all level on at the bottom with only a win each.
They go into the NRL, then a truncated round of fixtures in Australia ahead of the final Origin fixture this weekend. The Parramatta Eels defeated the Sydney Roosters by 22 points to 18. The Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs were 32 points to 22 winners over West's Tigers, Mark.
Yeah, James Graham had an impressive 194 metres in this one for the Bulldogs. It was a really entertaining game, and until the last 5 minutes it was it was wide open, and the Tigers side missing, the two star men. It was a good effort from them, but they just don't have the defence, and ultimately that might be why they fall short of the top 8. But their attack is good this year, really good.
There you go. The Cronulla Sutherland Sharks, my Sharkies, made it 13 consecutive victories, which makes them something like the 5th team in the entire history of Aussie Rugby League to do so.
I took the time to send you a stat,
yeah,
and you don't even remember